Hello, so this is video 4 of our Healthy Hips series. So you should have completed 1, 2 and 3 before watching this video. If you haven't, go back and see those. So again, we're going to build on the exercises or the stretches that we've done in the last couple of videos. So we're going to start with some hip swizzles. Back a little bit. So we'll have those feet just wider than shoulder width. We're going to roll the knees around from side to side. We're going to try and keep the knees as far apart as possible. So take one knee across and then pull the other hip across when we get to full extension. We're going to do about 10 of these. So just lifting that knee as far as we can, rolling it over the top. So I'm going to try and keep the knees as far apart as possible as we go over the top. Do one more on each side. That's it. And then we're going to hold that 90-90 position. So we want a 90-degree angle on the front knee, 90 degrees on the back knee, and a straight line sort of from the bottom of your foot and down your shin. And then we're going to face over the top of this front knee. We're going to lean forwards a touch until we can just feel that stretch. And then for 5 seconds, we're going to actively push this knee down into the ground. So we'll push the knee into the ground, hold it for 5 seconds, release off there. Then we're going to gradually increase that stretch. So again, hold it for 5 seconds, pushing the knee into the ground, release off there. Gradually increase the stretch. Nice deep breath in. Push the knee into the ground, hold it for 5 seconds. And then we'll do one more on this side. So gradually increasing that stretch as we go and pushing that knee into the ground. So you should feel it working in the bottom on the floor. Great. Roll it over to the other side, same thing. So 90-90 position, just lean forward slightly till we feel that stretch on the glute closest to the floor. Push the knee into the ground and hold that stretch there for 5 seconds. Release off that nice deep breath in. Gradually increase that stretch and hold. Release off there. Gradually increase that range of movement. Knee into the ground, hold there. 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do one more of those. Knee into the ground, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release off there, back to those hip swivels. This time we're going to add a little bit of hip extension on these swizzles. So we're going to go from there up and round to the other side. We're just extending through the hips at the top of your swizzles. Really push the hips forward, squeeze the glutes. Do another couple on each side. More here. Good. Bring it back onto your bottom. This time, I'm going to take those feet out in front. So if you can't get your legs nice and straight on the floor, we can sit on a book or a yoga block or a little shallow box. It's going to help you keep your legs a bit straighter. So we're going to hold that straddle there, lean forward until we feel the tension in the back of the leg. If we can't get the legs straight, we can bend the knees a touch. I'm just going to feel that tension there for 5 seconds. We're going to think about pushing the heels and the calves into the floor. So push into the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, releasing off, gradually increase the stretch. Push the heels into the ground for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. On the outward breath, try and increase that stretch. Push the heels into the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to do one more of those. Gradually increase that stretch. Push the heels and the calves into the ground. Nice. Release off there. Bring those feet in. This time we're going to bring the legs together. We're going to kind of roll the pelvis forwards so we feel like the pressure is on the top of the hamstrings. So again, if we can't do this with straight legs, we can bend the legs a touch to start. Push the belly into the thighs, down there. We're going to push the heels away and the hamstrings into the ground. Again, we're going to hold that for 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Release off for a second. Again, push the heels away, push the hamstrings into the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release off there. So if that's the stretch, that's as much stretch as we can get, we think about just increasing. So we're pushing the heels away, so we're just increasing the stretch and the length of the legs. If you can get your legs straight, we can push the hamstrings into the ground. Roll your pelvis forwards to increase the hamstring stretch. Do one more of those. Into the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good stuff. Release off there. And bring it over onto your hands and knees. I'm just going to pop the hips down towards the floor so we can do this. We're just going to push up, and there's a nice back extension. So kind of the opposite. In the previous stretch, we were stretching through the hamstrings. In this one, we're kind of stretching and pushing down with the thighs. So we're going to lift up and then try and push the thighs into the ground. 5 seconds there. Releasing off. Pushing up, pushing the thighs into the ground. Squeeze the bottom cheeks. Do that 2 more times. Big push up. So the closer your hands are in towards you, the more stretch you'll get. So if it feels too tough, you can either do it on your elbows or have your hands further away. We'll do that one more time. And push the hips back into that nice child's pose. Fingertips forwards, nice belly full of air. And release. Do 5 more breaths here. So as we take that belly full of air in, try and push the belly into the thighs. One more. And bring up onto the hands and knees, and then bring 1 foot forwards so that it's on the outside of your hands. And we're gonna sitting up nice and tall. Oh, you've lost my head. Pushing down. So just move back a little bit so that you can see me. My head. So we're going to push down into the ground with this front foot, but also trying to push the weight forwards from your hips down to your heel. You should feel that stretch across the hip flexor. A nice stretch there. I'm going to take the hands down on the inside and then lift, if we can, the back knee up off of the floor and bring that knee down. So we're going to do that 5 times. One more there. And from there, we're going to push up. We're going to rock forwards into a hip flexor stretch and then backwards into a hamstring stretch. We're going to do that 5 times. So forwards, then backwards. You can go as far backwards as you can on that hamstring stretch. So you can stay here, or we can push all the way, push the heel into the ground. I'm going to do one more of these. And from there, we're going to walk the hands out in front and try and get the elbows as close to the ground as we can. Hold it there for 5 seconds. Good. Now we're going to do the other side. So bring the other foot forwards, up into that hip flexor stretch. So just actively pushing the hips down, releasing off a touch. Nice deep breath in. Another push forwards. So if we need to hold onto the floor whilst we're doing these for balance, we can. Do 2 more of these. Bring those hands down on the inside of your thigh. And we're going to lift that back knee. 5 of those. One more here. So bringing it back up. We're going to stretch forwards, hip flexor stretch, and then backwards for that hamstring stretch. So use a range of movement that you're comfortable with. So if we need to stretch the hamstring from there, that's fine. Or we can push all the way back. Do 2 more of these on this side. Bring the hands back down. Walk out in front slightly. Or if you can, we'll bring the elbows down towards the floor. Hold it there for 5 seconds. Release off there. So you're going to bring it into that child's pose again. And then we're going to take the toes and just tuck them underneath. As we rock backwards this time, we're just going to bring the hands in between the feet. So you might not be able to get your heels on the floor, and that's okay. You're going to rock it forwards and then walk it backwards into that nice deep squat. So with each repetition, you should be able to just increase that movement. Do 1 more here. This time we're going to take the feet slightly wider, just see how it impacts the movement. So knees and feet a little bit wider as we rock back here. Do 3 more of those. Last one. Good. Bring it back onto your hands and knees. Take it into a seated position. Nice deep breath in. And a pat on the back. Well done. We've completed all 4 workouts now. So you can reuse them as and when you wish. Have a great day.